Satnam, I'm Lillian Savoy here with Rachel Otto, and we are tapping in on this episode of Awaken Change into all the things underground and all the things above. And the reason why she's back so soon is because I just did not get enough. And, you know, we're taught every day to teach ourselves like we are enough, we have enough. But when you meet another soul sister, now Rachel's been in my life for many years. She's taught me Reiki and certified me on as a Reiki master. And we did rainbow Reiki. We did angel healing. And we did, what didn't we do? I think is a better question. But this podcast is about sharing some of those stories, those conversations, and those tools so that you can live a life free of anxiety, because that is one of my personal missions, is that I work with a lot of women, and I'm sure you do too, Rachel, and we can talk about it, but that really struggle with anxiety. And, you know, instead of looking at it from a textbook style, like let's do step 1, step 2, step 3, that doesn't really work anymore, right? Let's look at, okay, who are our divine beings for helping us? Who are below the ground beings for helping us? What is this God source energy that people are talking about? What is this divine matrix that, you know, you're seeing now, and the unconscious versus the conscious thinking? And my mission is to personally live an anxiety-free life. And so that just makes sense that I would help other women and a few men here and there, right, live an anxiety-free life. And anxiety gives us a lot of messages. And Rachel here today, we are going to dive in and go underground. She's going to teach us about mushrooms and mycelium and her guides. And they're going to talk to my guides. And they're going to help you feel like $1,000,000 when you're done with this podcast. And if you don't, you can send us your questions or your concerns, and we'll make you a third podcast.
I mean,
so Rachel, of Way Chill Life, the goddess that you are, the queen bee, the teacher, the human, the spiritual being, and everything in between, welcome.
Woot woot. Thank you, Lillian. This is one of my favorite podcasts to do because it's so authentic and it's so in the now moment. And I appreciate that. And so, listener, welcome here. You know, it doesn't matter if you're listening to this in 2026, 2030. It's still going to pertain to you, maybe in just different ways. And all of our information, which is so amazing, always comes to us. And I love the topic of mushrooms. I love, love, love this topic because it is actually around everything. So I'm going to just tell us a little story to get our discussion started. So let's go back to the myth of creation. And I say the myth because it's written in the Bible, and everything written, you know, is somebody's perspective. And in the Bible, they talk about the Garden of Eden, which really does exist, and it could be called Earth. And that there was this lovely young woman, Eve, and she came and ate an apple. Oh, she did not eat an apple. Did you know she ate a mushroom? Did you know in all of the early paintings, the original paintings, talks about her eating the red mushroom with the polka dots on it? And in fact, if you look at the original paintings from the Bible that they first did, I'm not talking about the new ones since the Nicene Creed. I'm talking about the original ones. It is a mushroom that Eve ate. It was a mushroom that brought her consciousness. Okay, so if we understand that it's the mushroom that helps expand our minds, and there are so many different types of mushrooms, and we're not going to focus on psychedelic mushrooms here, but I'm just pointing out that throughout our history, mushrooms is what brought us together. And if you even go further back than that, They have now proven, which is so crazy, that mycelium was brought to the planet by an asteroid. And that mycelium is truly an otherworldly being that was brought here to help connect all of the plants. All plant people are connected by mycelium. Let me say that again. All plant people. Whether you're a grass, or you're the tallest tree in the sequoia, or you're a palm tree in an island. Everything is connected by the mycelium underground. That's been growing and expanding for however billion years old this planet is. So, the mushroom, the mycelium, this crazy stuff is part of our ascension process, and it is part of our health and well-being. I love the fact that right now mushroom tea is trending. I myself have gone through every brand.
I'm drinking it right now.
Okay. And what's in your tea today that you're drinking?
Today is bone broth with some L-carnitine mushrooms, some reishi mushrooms, some cayenne, some salt, and green tea, a little bit of green tea extract.
Okay, that is so fabulous on every level.
It's made by Primal Tonics, so they get a little bit of free advertising right now, I guess, right? Because it's a friend of mine, and she's been on the podcast. Her name is Ashley Miller, and she is an acupuncturist, and I feel like maybe you have met her when you lived here, but they started a bone broth company called Primal Tonics, and they do mix it in with different amazing mushrooms, and a lot of people don't like to drink bone broth, but it is so good for the soul. It warms me up from my head down to my toes.
I love that. And there is all kinds of fabulous different mushrooms. Somebody that went through menopause. It was the mushrooms that actually regulated my body and took away the body fat. And I think it was lion's mane. Lion's mane. There's some wonderful brands out there and things to try.
Yeah.
So to me,
so instead of doing HRT, you did lots of mushrooms.
Yes.
You had a hysterectomy early because you're young.
Yes. Well, I got a hysterectomy for my 50th birthday.
Congratulations. I hope I don't get one of those for my 50th.
Yeah, so fabulous. They tried to actually give me an emergency hysterectomy 3 times. The first time they just took one ovary. The second time, after I stopped, almost bleeding to death, they said, your insurance isn't accepted here. So they sent me home and they said, go find your regular hospital that takes your insurance, and they'll schedule your surgery on Sunday. So on Saturday, I went to Joshua Tree. I sat in my most healing favorite spot. And when I went in to have the emergency hysterectomy on Sunday, they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. Why are you here?
Joshua Tree healed you?
Joshua Tree healed me in less than 24 hours.
And you used to live out there, right?
Yes. And then
so how often did you go?
Oh, Joshua Tree, at least once a month.
Oh, lucky. I've never been. I can't even believe I've never been. I lived out west for 12 years.
It's a fabulous, fabulous place. I recommend for everyone to go check it out. But the third time I got caught in the chaos of the world. The third time I got caught in this reality that we call worry and paradigms, right? We are told that, by a certain age, you should have a house and a partner, and by a certain age, you should be looking towards retirement, and by a certain age, you should have made it, right? We are fed this as children.
As children, yes.
we're fed this not just through our schools, but by the TV shows and our parents, and you should be doing this by then, and you should grow up. You shouldn't be having purple hair, and aren't you a little too old for that? And age, who's defining age anymore?
Who is
right?
defining age?
Right? So
the older generation.
Exactly.
Which they are totally different than us.
It just kind of got to me. It got to me. And so the third time they just said, we're just going to take it out. It was compromised. Okay. And at first it was like, I'm losing my identity. I'm going to become a they. I'm not a they. I'm not a she. I'm not a he. I'm an eternal being of light.
Yeah, you're a being.
So it didn't matter.
But they fed you that too. They've said that you weren't going to be a she and you were going to go into a they, and really none of that matters because you are a light being.
Right. So it was the mushroom that actually balanced me. It was the mushroom that actually made me feel good. And I went through several brands, and I recommend trying the brand that Lillian was saying, listener, but find what your body needs, because there are so many amazing, there's Mudwater and Rise, and
I've had that.
What's the moon brew? I like drinking that at night with the cacao, and there's different things that mix and it feels good in your body. But all the arthritis went away.
Nice.
The belly, like that you can't leave. All of a sudden it shows up.
that little pouch. Mom flap, and you don't even have earthly children. It still shows up anyway.
Yes. And I'm 5'3", being short, little things like that poke out, right? So the mushroom has so many answers for you. It is about communication. It is about living with yourself. It's about healthy. It's not to be feared. So the psychedelic mushrooms are really good for, I think I mentioned this before, they're doing programs for not just drug addicts, but alcoholism, microdosing to help with different ways of letting go of
anxiety
and anxiety. Yes.
Yeah.
So our underground friends, the mycelium that connects everything, it actually helps us connect into nature. It helps us connect back into ourselves. And I am positive that there's like at least 20 different other great things that it does that I'm not even talking about, from healing your, see the light change, so it must have been,
healing your head,
your head,
your brain,
that
your cognitive
barrier, down to literally communicating with nature.
Issues in the tissues. That's what I call it. They talk about healing the issues in the tissues.
The tissues. Yeah. There's a great book, The Body Keeps Score.
Yes.
And it does talk about... I
think you recommended that to our family a million years ago.
I did.
Yes.
I did, because and actually it's funny because it just made the New York Times list around 2020 or so. And really people are understanding that we hold our trauma inside ourselves. And you had mentioned to me how we have to deal with our emotions and our feelings. And
it gets stored in our tissues. And I think what I wanted to tell you was, if we can stop denying ourselves and suppressing our feelings, and sometimes we don't even know what those are. If we stop denying our feelings because of the rules of society or because of the old paradigms, and I think maybe we should talk about, like, what do we think are old paradigms? Because I think some of the old paradigms are good for learning, but then we have to almost evolve from what we learn and create our own without the rules of society telling us what to do. And that is a confusing spot to be in, because just like, let's take, for example, oracle cards.
Oh.
Okay. So oracle cards, how ancient are oracle cards or tarot cards?
We could start with the runes because, those came even before the tarot cards. And of course, tarot cards turned into playing cards.
See, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, the heart, the cup, the spades.
Yes.
They're that's what I mean. We think that it's, I don't do tarot readings. Really? You play cards?
Yes, cards. You're so right. Okay. And we talked about that a little bit on the last part, so we won't bring that back up again, but let's go back into the kings and queens and spades and stuff. So I have this book that I absolutely love, and it's called Love Cards. And you look up each other's birthdays, and then you see how people, and we could do this like me and you. It doesn't have to be lovers or.
No, we're love.
So it's anybody, but you can see your children, you can see what past lives that you've lived based on the planets. But it's
can I stop you right now?
Okay.
It's not about cards. It's about astrology.
Yes.
And astrology, is our roadmap. Cards are earthbound ways that the collective consciousness feels you should be responding, because the cards are made of earth in the third dimension and they're made in the old ways. Your love book is written with astrology. Yes. Which is what the universe gave to us as a roadmap for our life. So I love your book already because it's on the right pathway, because it's talking about how the universe has set us up. Yeah. Not an old paradigm of that you see the death card and you're going to die.
Yeah. Well, or the devil card, which is also the death card in another form of a card, right?
Transition.
Yeah, same thing. Okay, so the love card is so interesting because it really teaches you, you're right, it teaches you a different way of doing astrology. And it's so cosmic that it's so eye-opening because it tells you, if you look up people's birthdays and stuff, it tells you.
Let's do us.
Oh, we could do us. We could do us. I use the book so much, it travels around my office and ends
next
up.
Time.
So, but it's so funny because it will tell, like, let's say for me and you, it would say that, we're probably soul sisters from Jupiter, or it would say that we were mother and daughter from Saturn, or so it gives you all these scenarios.
It's serious, just if anybody really wanted to know.
Serious? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you can fill us in on that because, we want to channel from your guides again. But when I love it because I do a lot of relationship coaching and I love to help all my single ladies date. It's like one of my favorite things to do. And men. But I just think that dating is where it's at. And because you get to learn who is stuck in the paradigms, which paradigm they're stuck in, right? What consciousness they have, what they're aware of, what they're not aware of. Do they even believe in love cards? Is it strict? Do they have rules? Like, dating can teach you so many things, right?
About yourself.
Because you're like, oh, what am I stuck in? Is this my rule? Oh, he has to be tall, hot, rich, have a big, I mean, it's just like, well, what are his things? Like, what does he want? And so the book goes into all these things as far as like, well, maybe you were brother and sister in a past life. In this life, you're lovers. And so that will freak people out. But at the same time, it's so interesting. And I really think like my best friends, and I don't know about yours if you feel the same way, but I feel like my best friends, we've been lovers and brothers and sisters and parent and child, like for many, many lifetimes.
Child. Yes. 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 Even my own sisters. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, got off topic there, but I mean, not really off topic, but
again, anything that has to come from the universe, anything that comes from astrology, kind of like even palm reading or Chinese facial recognition, because that is you. That is you. The stars have aligned. I think it's astropsychology. There's astral lines where you're supposed to be. There's Sabian symbols. Have you done Sabian symbols yet, Lillian?
No. What is
also tied directly into astrology.
Tell us.
Fabulous. You know, we'll have to get Susie Cox on here. She is the woman who brought astrology to the United States and made it trendy back in the 60s.
Okay. Susie Cox, come on down.
Yeah, we're going to have to get her here because she can better explain Sabian symbols than anyone. And I don't even want to pretend that I can tell the story, but it is, again, anything that is tied into the cosmos, because that is reflecting what you chose in this life to be. That is your will. God's will is your will. And I believe the mushrooms help us stay on our will, which is God's will, because we wrote our contract when we came down here what we're supposed to do. And I believe the mushrooms is a third dimensional tool that goes through all dimensions. They physically show up as these goofy shapes.
I love them, yeah.
In so many different forms, and they all have different healing properties. And they're here to help us elevate. You know, it's the mushroom too that takes the toxins and turns it into a beautiful field again, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they are amazing. So
what do you think the mushrooms and astrology have in common?
They are here. Well, I think astrology is our roadmap. It literally tells us your personality. When you go in, it tells you, the trines tell you what it is that you're going to face in this lifetime. You know, what are the obstacles that you need to overcome to learn to be your best self? You look at where the houses are, where different things are aligned, where you're born is important, what time you're born at is important. Again, these are all things that you make in your contract to come here, to create. You picked your parents. You picked where you want to be born. You picked this life because this planet is free will. It does not exist anywhere else. So we are supposed to be here for fun. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but this is supposed to be our time for fun.
It is.
We're supposed to
I
dance
agree.
and take
So
it off.
if people are not looking into astrology, do you feel like that is one reason why there maybe is a lot of anxiety in certain people or more depression in other people because they really haven't connected to the divine guidance of the stars, the moon, the sun, the planets?
I'm going to take it even further than that. They haven't connected into the mushroom. The mushroom is a fabulous symbol of Earth. You must connect to nature. You must get your bare feet on the ground. You've got to drink that salt water or that bone broth. The mushroom is the most fabulous symbol of Earth for us to ingest, to have that connection to the Earth. People think I'm crazy because I talk to trees and I hear what the plants say and I know which birds are pregnant. I'm about ready to lay an egg, right?
Can you? You can tell?
Oh, yeah. We were just walking by and I'm like, oh, guess who's going to have lay some eggs? You better be careful. The cowbirds are over there.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Rachel.
You can find that connection into nature through mushrooms. And I do not mean the psychedelic. Yes, the psychedelic.
Yeah, you're
will
talking
put you
about
there
eating,
faster.
drinking.
Yes. I'm talking about not just eating your portobello mushrooms, but I'm talking about having your rise cup of coffee in the morning, or drinking that mud water, or drinking your beautiful primal tonic that you have. Finding something that every day you are literally ingesting
the mushroom.
The mushrooms.
And what about touching the mushrooms and looking at the mushrooms and watching mushroom documentaries and all of that?
Okay, so I have to be a little bit of a girl here. I had mentioned...
Wait, you went from a light being to a girl. Okay, let's get it.
Yes. So let's go a little third dimensional here. It is very interesting to me as an observer, because that's what we should be doing in this chaotic time, is observing, not judging. Observing,
witnessing.
Right? Witnessing what is happening.
Yeah.
Because this is the great separation. This is the great time of a new age coming. And so it's going to be chaos. Yay. As an observer, I noticed about 3 years ago the trend in mushrooms.
Nice.
This is my lovely Kate Spade mushroom necklace that actually represents psychedelic mushrooms of elevation, of consciousness. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we are trending mushrooms, then there must be something worldwide telling us to connect again to nature.
Okay, now I have
a question for you. Even if it's commercialism that's coming up.
Oh, that's just our sign and our symbol.
It's pulling forward that this is going to help us subconsciously. There's little mushroom cartoons, the mushroom teas are coming out. It's been in the past 5 years that, we went from the trending of the unicorn and then we went into owls, and now we're trending in mushrooms and I think butterflies might be back in again. I don't know. But it's all again to help us subconsciously elevate and connect back in to nature.
And do you think that, Kate Spade killed herself, right?
She did.
Okay. So do you think that Kate Spade on the other side is now a light being telling everybody mushrooms, wear your mushrooms, drink your mushrooms, eat your mushrooms, connect to nature? Because now she has ended the suffering on the human dimension, right? And so now she's a light being coming in and giving us little symbols and guidance. And I have a second scenario, but what do you think about that?
I'm asking her. So she is so full of joy and light, she has no concern for this plane. She's actually happy to see that the mushrooms are coming out and that it's about joyful living. And they're back to her hearts and the actual spade, which that is her last name, but again, it's tied back to the tarot cards. So, ironically, her answer is that she has no connection to it at all. She is so one in this pure divine love and happiness that, there is no connection to it, but she's happy that we are discussing it and bringing her in. She thinks it's neat, I think is the word she used, that she's a topic of conversation, not for her suffering, but for her legacy that is still producing joyful living and joy in people.
I love that. And you brought up butterflies, and butterflies, to answer your question, I think are absolutely trending again. And when my niece died, she was run over by a car, and she came to visit me just a week ago. Well, let's see, about 3 weeks ago. I was in the pool. We heated the pool for Christmas. It was so hot here. And I was all by myself. I don't even know why, but I was by myself, and I was doing some laps, just really enjoying the water and the air. And all of a sudden, this yellow butterfly came in, which is how she represents herself in the earthly plane, that is. And the yellow butterfly just came in and went right by me, right in front of my face, and landed on the bush, and then played with me for about 10 minutes. And she was over there. And then I looked over at my bird feeder and I said, "It's so strange. I wonder where all the birds are. Normally there are all these birds because I feed my cardinals." And I said, "I wonder what they're doing because I'm out here now, so I'd love to see them." 6 red cardinals, all males, the bright red ones, all sat on the bush that's by my bedroom and just talked to me. And then I looked up, and there is this red-tailed hawk, huge red-tailed hawk circling above me. And I just thought, I have Emma over here with my yellow butterflies. I have 6 male guides, cardinals, chatting with me. I have the red-tailed hawk above me and the water below me, which, I mean, does it get any better than that? Nope. I'm talking about releasing everything, releasing thoughts, releasing emotions, releasing anxiety, releasing depression. I mean, that connection to nature and to the beings that we've lost. Cardinals represent obviously crossed over people, but 6 male ones on the same bush at the same time never happened. So, Rachel, what does all that mean? Like, if someone's out in nature and all these things start happening at the same time, synchronicity, give us your interpretation.
I'm bringing all this, kind of trying to bring it all in together here. So to me, nature is our greatest guide. Nature has the most information for us, more than the World Wide Web, more than what the weather department is going to tell us. And I did create a deck of cards called When Nature Speaks, and it's only pictures of nature. And I didn't do animals. I just did stone people, plant people, water, snow, cosmic people. And
you sell that?
Standing people. I just took it off of Etsy, and I'll open them back up again. I've done several printings of the cards, so I do have them. The animals go to medicine animals, medicine cards, because they'll tell you exactly what that means. And so I'm going to interpret the animals as I understand them through medicine animals and my own experiences, because I find that different cultures have different meanings for animals, but it pertains for what it is in that moment. Mm-hmm. And that you should always ask your inner self what it is. So you knew the butterfly. Mm-hmm. You knew that transformation into joy. Of course, yellow is our solar plex. Yellow is who we are. And she was filling you with confidence of who you are and showing you how much joy where she's at. Yeah. And letting you know that peace and that joy, right? Of course, the water below you is water of life. One of these times we'll have the conversation of the 4 phase of water, which means that we know that water goes through all dimensions, through all time, through all space, and that it truly is the ultimate liquid of the ultimate substance, And so water is your fluidity, it's clearing you, and it's keeping you into communication. And then you have your cardinals, six cardinals. That's amazing. Red, of course, the grounding, the earth. Cardinals have such a deep symbol within themselves. And I do believe you're right. I believe these were 6 of your personal guides. Not necessarily all family members, but different male guides that you've had throughout your life. And they were talking as fast as they could because, of course, they always think they know more than anyone else. And
they attract the females. So it wasn't long before all the females found them and they were like, hey, what you doing over here?
Exactly.
Don't I look pretty?
Didn't you just say earlier that you were the connector and that you loved to have people dating? And
I do, yes. I know that's why it's so funny. I know that when the birds come out, they're all couples and pairing. And so they just show me like, hey, you just have to feed that energy. Sometimes I'll starve the birds for like 3 days, not on purpose, but I'm like, oh, I got to go feed my birds. And then they all come back, sometimes singles, sometimes couples, sometimes babies. And it's just so magical. I'm like, this is the process of life.
And what you do for the birds is what you do for people. So this is representing your physical realm. The red-tailed hawk. Oh, I'm so in love with hawks.
Are you?
Oh, I've just become such a fan of the hawks. And that happened really in Tucson and Arizona. And
because you had
hawks are
the eagles.
Yes.
Everything.
Well, the eagle is the number one medicine animal, is the first medicine animal, because the eagle is the great connector between Father Sky and Mother Earth. And the eagle really always carries the messages. The hawk's message is the observer. The hawk's message is the observer. It is exactly where we are supposed to be right now. Just what we keep saying. The chaos is happening around us. Do not choose sides on things. Observe it.
Yes. And don't get involved.
Don't get involved.
And don't make rash decisions either, right?
No, because you're going you're playing their game when you do that. You're going back into the matrix. You're going back into the old paradigms. We're asking you right now, you have a choice between the red and blue pill. Take the pill of love. Choose yourself. Don't choose old
red or blue. Yeah. Now, can you tell us because I think this is kind of the buzzword going around, at least it is, right? And as teachers of this realm, but okay, so the matrix. When you say the matrix, describe what, in your opinion, what the matrix is. Because we're always saying we want to there's the divine matrix, which we'll talk about. But then there's also like the matrix of the old paradigm. So can you tell us the difference of both? Because I really think we need to clear up, and we know it's just your opinion, but clear that up for us.
So the old matrix is made off of what I call ego, which is the human ego. It is a fear-based matrix that began, we're talking in Roman times. This isn't something that was just invented in Silicon Valley. Even though they have tried to perfect the dark web or the dark matrix, they're not the inventors of it. They're not. Sorry, kids. The Nicene Creed is a great example. In the Bible, they took all the canons and they decided how we're going to be ruled. They decided how to use Jesus and the Christ consciousness, or Muhammad, or whomever it is you believe in, instead of going what is his divine light and eternal light, and that you are the creator. And if you listen to the original words, go to source, go to God as a child, which means an empty mind, an empty head, and as one, we get everything, right? If you actually listen to what the real teachings are, they're still in there. But the matrix instead wants to keep us in fear and keep us under control, under their thumbs, so that we have their power, so that we think God is outside of us, so that we're no longer the creator. The matrix just isn't G5 waves. Again, this is something that's embedded deep into the earth and deep into your DNA and to your subconscious. It's teaching that pride is bad. It's teaching that money is the root of all evil. Money's just a tool. It's just a tool. And then you think about things. Well, why is it that what we would consider bad people, nothing happens to them? Is it because they live such a joyful way that all they keep getting is joy? Maybe they know the secrets of life and we don't. And that's what the Illuminati was trying to do. It was trying to enlighten people and let them know that you are in control of yourself. You have the choice. You have free will. You can choose love or choose fear. The Matrix is a fear-driven, invisible, subconscious that is around everything. It drives us to think that we are too fat. It drives us to think that we're too old. It even took away our eternal life.
Yeah.
And made us poor.
Yeah.
It sucks the energy out of us and it keeps the system going. It keeps the 1% wealthy. It keeps others in control of us. It keeps us afraid of each other. It is a separation instead of a unification. So
that.
It has existed far beyond. It's just that we see it
lifetimes.
Now. Yeah, we just see it now. It's obvious now. We've made movies about it. They talk about it. You can feel it, right? You know when you go into a large group that you're like, which one doesn't belong here? You know?
God, that's like me and everything. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, well, so then give us the flip side. Because the mushroom card that I pulled from my deck, which I love, and they call it like the divine matrix. Okay, so the message of the card, and it's Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron Reed, their deck. It's the Shaman Dreams. So I love this deck. But they have a mushroom.
A cosmic deck, bigger than an old tarot deck.
Yes. It's a cosmic deck. Okay, so it's tied more to, and it's also tied, to the animals, the animal
nature.
Medicine.
Yes.
Yeah, to nature. So that's why I connect with it too. But one of the cards with the mushroom says it's the divine matrix, and the main message is it's not about you, which is so interesting because it isn't about me and what I want and what I'm manifesting and what I can bring and what I need to do in this life and time and what I need to make and who do I need to be friends with and blah, blah, blah. It's not about me because it's kind of funny how it puts it. It's like, it's not about you because everybody else is doing what you're doing. Not everybody else, but a lot of people are also manifesting and desiring and working and striving and elevating, that it's also about them. And that's why we don't get what we always want, because your manifesting skills or your energy might be bigger than mine, Rachel. So I might fall into your divine matrix, which is a good thing, right? But maybe it doesn't feel good for me, but then I have to remind myself it's not all about me. So give us a little insight on why is this divine matrix, they make it sound so good. And what is it? And it doesn't have to be good, bad, or ugly, but I think the card even says like you have to experience the good, bad, the ugly, the this.
So as we go to the divine matrix, the easiest way to understand it is the mycelium. So the mycelium is a physical representation of the divine matrix because we are all connected. We all have a golden cord within us. You can see this in the 6th and 7th dimension is where you really understand how the divine matrix works. Different angelic beings like Metatron, where we talk about Metatron's cube or Father Sky, the web of life, okay? These are things that help us understand the divine matrix. And again, the divine matrix it's not even invisible. I've told a story before where Raphael gave me a pair of goggles and I got to see all the dimensions all at one time on this planet. It's too much, but I got to see how where we leave a trail of our essence and our love, right? So if the more love we leave, the more we expand the divine matrix because it's buried or it's been pushed downward by the ego or the black matrix that's been controlling everything, the fear. Okay, so we'll call it the fear matrix and the divine matrix. So this fear matrix has ruled the planet for, I don't know, 20,000 years or 10,000 years, whatever the cycle was. It depends on which culture you're looking at, whether you're looking at Mayan or Indian, the Ubanama, I don't know. So now the divine matrix is taking back over. The divine matrix is saying, you and I are connected. I'm even connected to this computer that's sitting in front of me. Even though it looks like an inanimate object, it's got energy, it's got life, and it's a divine being as well. Well, not as divine as me and you, but it's still energy, right? It's still made up of everything. It's just a little bit lower vibration. So the divine matrix comes from, they sometimes call it the central sun, comes from divine source, comes from all of it. And it just spreads out through everything. That's why when we want to, say, travel to Jupiter or travel to other planets, you go into the divine matrix, which in the core of the earth is, and then it'll take you to Jupiter. When we do space travel in the future, it's not going to be flying a machine. It's going to be through the portals of the divine matrix. The divine matrix connects everything. And then there's this crazy group of angels. It's the Dominions, I believe. And so
I love the Dominions.
You are here, right? And we're all in this inner web of life, and we're all crossing over, and we're all connected. And then there's some of us that get disconnected, and instead we go into that fear matrix, right? And so the divine is trying to get you over to this side of love, and they send you messages, and they fling people at you, and they give you hugs, and you're like, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I'm disconnected. Well, it's because you don't love who you are. You don't love your inner child. You don't love yourself. And so you have to start with you. And once you connect back into you and who you are, the divine matrix starts to grow around you again. And then all of a sudden you notice that you're in the beat of life. And then when you're in your beat of life, you don't actually manifest. I don't manifest shit anymore. In fact, all I do is talk about how happy I am, how grateful I am. And I keep thinking about the feeling of how grateful it's going to be tomorrow and how great the next day is going to be. And how excited I am that I'm going to be on maybe a beach, or how much fun it's going to be when I'm with my friends or eating some good food. And so all I think about is how I feel in the future, because when I decide that I wanted a house and I focused on the house and I did everything I was supposed to do for the house, yeah, I got the house, but then what? But then what? The house didn't change me. The house didn't do anything. But if I focus on my feeling, the feeling of moving forward, feeling of being in love, then I'm in the matrix. And those dominions, they come down and they make sure that everything clears my path so that I get that feeling that I sent out that I wanted.
Yeah, over and over
again. And the dominions work with the great source so that once you're connected, you get it. And you get everything, and then you don't have to worry about what's going on around you. Because you know that all your bills are going to be paid. You know that everything is going to happen in grace and ease, because the divine matrix is full of love, and it just wants you to feel good and be happy. That's it. That's it, folks. It's really, it's choosing yourself. It is choosing love. And I don't mean like, okay, on Thursday I'm going to choose it, and then I'm going to go, after I do that, I've got some other things I have to do. No, it's choosing it at every moment, every now moment, being who you are. Yes, we're in the wheel of life. There are days that you're going to wake up and you're going to feel that fear matrix trying to reach out at you, and you're going to feel the shit that it flings at you at night. Because it does. It sends out its vibrations. It sends out its 5G. It sends out its chemtrails. It does everything it can do to make us fear and hate each other again. It sends out bad news and bad media. But we have to choose. Observe, like the hawk tells us. Watch what's going on. Don't participate. Watch what's going on. But stay and find that love. And some days it's going to be like, whoa! And some days it's going to be like, all right, I can feel a scratchy throat. I can feel something wrong with me. I'm going to drink my mushroom tea. I'm going to do my gratitude in the morning. I'm going to do my stretch. I'm going to do my thing, whatever it is. And I'm going to just be. And when you choose yourself and you choose the love and you take your power just to be, you can get through those down days, because everything is a cycle. It's the wheel of life. It's the seasons. It's everything. But when you just get to a medium pace, it's just joy and gratitude. And that divine matrix will hold you, will guide you. The dominions will come down and bat away what doesn't serve you. Give you your parking space. Keep the bad drivers away from you. And then things just get easier. And then all of a sudden you realize that you don't need so much. All these things that you thought you had to have. And you just all of a sudden are like, wow, that doesn't bring me as much joy as it used to, but being in my warm pool with the birds and the butterflies around me, boy, that brings me joy. And I have that. Oh, now I don't have a pool, but I wish I did, I have a sauna, so I'll go sit in my sauna.
Yeah.
Everybody
has a different tool as long as you're connecting, though, right? As long as you are taking
love.
Yeah, choosing love is your connection. Nature is the connection, and having that as a daily attitude.
And the mushrooms will help you.
That's a great idea. I'm going to send some mushrooms to Jules because I just sent her some amazing greens. So I'm going to send her some mushrooms. I just love the fact that Amazon, you can just change your little delivery address and bebop over something. Everywhere. Here, I just thought of you. Here, do this, do that.
Use the technology. People, don't be afraid of it. Use what we have.
What about if we take the last, couple minutes and you just bring us into maybe some dominions so they can feel it.
Ooh.
And if you're driving, maybe come back to this or not. And
if you're doing something too far out, maybe not, because this might.
Maybe, what about just a few minutes of just to feel the dominions and to calm in? The dominions are angels. They're connecting us to love. Or would you rather connect to the mushrooms? Either one.
Well, since as the bee, our king troll has his proverbial hands on his hips. I think he was waiting to be called in.
Okay, so for those of you, if you didn't listen to Rachel and I's first episode, King Troll we determined that he is my highest guide, guiding me through life right now. And it has taken me, talk about being dense sometimes, right? For someone that's very connected, I can also be dense because we're duality, right? I mean, we are human. So we get stuck in our human stuff, whether we're teaching one day from the cosmos or living the human the next day. But King Troll has been talking to me since I bought my house a long time ago with my live oak tree. And I used to call it Mama Oak. And she's in my book on every beginning of the chapter. So you can see a picture of her. But I always called her Mama Oak because I could always see beings in the tree. I could see a pregnant lady. I could see a pterodactyl. You can see owls. There's all these beings in the tree. Well, I didn't know who he was, but King Troll was in the tree. And maybe I'll put a picture of that. I'll put a picture of that at the end of this podcast. And for as huge as this live oak is, he's right in front and has been staring at me since I bought the house. So I've had it for 13 years. He's been staring right at me for 13 years. And I didn't even know his name until, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? So 13 years later, he finally, said, Lily. Now, I knew he was coming because I've had sessions and I've heard him, but I didn't really know how prominent he was in my life and how connected to the masculine I needed to be, because I've been doing this whole divine feminine work, Rachel, and you have too, for so long. And the divine masculine is coming in fast, hard, just like I like it. Just kidding. Just kidding if you're listening. So King Troll is freaking amazing. And so we're going to, if he wants to lead the ship, Rachel.
He does.
All right, let's do it. So,
and I'm just going to put out there that we call him King Troll because it's an easy third dimensional name. But King Troll is actually a very high dimensional being of light. And so now through this meditation, you'll actually get to see just a few moments that we're doing. It's not going to be a full thing here, but you'll get to see a true being of light. And who knows, he might even come in his cosmic dragon form just to show you that he's not just a troll, but that is his third dimensional, fourth dimensional way of being a part of Earth constantly. He also has no interest in being in the human form, which is why Lillian chose to come here and help us to be in this human form, and why she gets to go through all of the goofy chaos of being a human, and especially during this time of transition. And he's here to support her because she chose to help all of us elevate. And King Troll's like, no way would I ever do that because it's too much work.
It is. But we get to share his magic. And in the picture that I'm going to post, you can actually see his crown.
In fact, you could even put that picture over us while we're doing this, because it's,
Ooh, that sounds technologically advanced, which I'm not. So. Oh.
Someday. We'll see the picture.
I might get there next lifetime. I'm not really sure. All right. Well, let's get into your vibe, his vibe, whose vibe, I don't know vibe. But after my healing session this morning with Rachel, let me just tell you this real quick. Rachel will do healing sessions for you, or lessons as she calls them. And she did mine this morning because even the teacher needs someone to help them heal or break the matrix or cut the cords or, things, because we are dense. And we have to remember that as light beings as we are and as amazing as we are, we're also dense. And our ego wants to put it in rules and patterns and paragraphs and shapes and colors and sizes. And sometimes we just need to leave all that freaking behind and let someone like Rachel or let someone like me or let someone that you love do a healing session on you so that you can break your own mold, so to speak. So I just want to thank you for my healing session this morning. And it was really just magical. You are so gifted. You are so talented. You are so connected. And I'm just in utter gratitude for you and for all the beings that you bring in, and that my guides talk to your guides. And I just love that. And so thank you and I know you're not doing a 20-minute meditation. This is just a few minutes of love.
It's a love. Yeah. We're just gonna ask King Troll to come in just for a moment. So go ahead and get yourself a little comfortable. Shimmy off what you don't need. And actually, before we do this, let's do something really fun. Okay, let's put our hand on our heart. Breathe in through our nose. And then when we go exhale out, we're gonna hum. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Doesn't matter what tone or how you're doing it. One more breath. We have found when we hum, it connects our heart to our brain, connects us back to ourselves. And so we pulled ourselves in just for that moment. And so we can feel ourselves now with this. And with your eyes closed, feeling your breath, just for a moment, imagine yourself stepping out of your body, seeing your body sitting there, lying there. And you see a golden silver cord that goes from the bottom of your feet to your physical being. And now we're going to ascend down. We're going to go down the earth, down through the floor, down through the dirt, down through the earth's crust, down, down, through the mycelium, the water, down, past the gemstones, the granite, down, down. And we come to like this beautiful cave, this beautiful hallway. Maybe you see roots, the mycelium, mushrooms growing. And in this beautiful, glowing, prismatic light, King Troll comes in its grandest form. We humbly ask to share your healing energy with all those who are listening through all time and space. The brilliant being of light has bestowed gifts for each of you. Courage, strength, structure, gold. Receive your gifts as they will integrate into you. Thank the great being of light. It turns and opens a portal for us to go out back as we ascend back up. 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 Past the granite, the gemstones, the earth's crust, the dirt. You see yourself again as you step into your body. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself fully and completely present. Feeling stronger, lighter, more confidence. Thank you, King Troll. And thank you, dear listener.
Thank you, Rachel, for leading us in that. Oh, I feel amazing. I hope everybody else feels amazing too. You're amazing. Okay, so if you want to reach out to Rachel, rachellife.com. Right?
Rachel@gmail.com. However,
Rachel@gmail.com. Okay, or comment below. Comment, we'll see it. Share with your friends. We hope that you get in the divine matrix. Any last words, Rachel?
you are love.
Oh. And if you want more of this, you can do a 7-day free trial at my Open Up community, where I do take you into some meditations and we talk about lessons and King Troll and everything else. So follow us for more, and I hope you had a good time today and a nice healing journey. Thank you, Rachel. I love you.
Thank you, Lillian. Love you all. Ciao, Bella.
This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. Please use your own discernment and seek professional care when needed.